Hey everybody, this is Glidercat and it's time to play. We are back in Moose Miners. Let's get back into it. Since last episode, I let things run for a while. I've added 60 new miners. So we're up to 595 miners. You can see we've got quite a bit of cash saved up, 23.17. And I kind of want to show you what I've been doing. My little strategy. We've got a surplus of wood here. That's not really a big deal. We can clear that pretty easy. In fact, maybe we'll do that this episode. See, we got all this wood on this side and no gems saved up. I'll show you how we can fix that like super duper quick. But what I've been doing, we had our kind of main set of tiers here that we were doing our mining with the rails. Remember we had multiple like levels, and I was going through each little section and upgrading the rails. Well, I've got it all leveled off now, or a bunch of it leveled off. Let me fast forward here to the top. So I've got one big long stretch of rails, and they are all lined up quite a bit. And that was kind of the original set of miners that we had since last episode. You can see they're slowly chewing away at the gems, and this is nice and level 2, which I like. It's kind of easy to manage. You can also see we're getting pretty far into the gems. Look at all these yellow ones we've got. So this is getting more and more lucrative, more money as we get further up into the gems. Right now, each stack is what? 6,000 gems per stack. And same thing with the trees down here. If we go all the way down, same situation. We're all leveled off on the rails, and we've got, the gems, or the trees are kind of level 2, which is nice. Because then the moose kind of distribute themselves evenly. It just keeps things easy to maintain. What was I going to say? So it's been running, I don't know, maybe 12 hours since I've last done any upgrades. So we're going to close these gaps here in a minute. But before we do, I also added more columns. I added 1,000 more grinders. Let's see if I can show you where those start. Here. So off to the left, these are the original grinders that we had in place. And these ones off to the right, there's 1,000 of them that I added. Those are all new. I brought some miners over from my original setup into here, and then I added, like I said, 60 more miners. So yeah, there's 1,000 here. What I want to do, we're going to extend this. These guys are obviously chewing through the gems faster because each stack is a little bit smaller. These have 3,000 in each stack right now. Ooh, man, look at all these black ones here. Nice, nice, nice. We're going to get some extra cash. Let's look at the upgrades. So I've been investing pretty heavily into these two areas, the price reductions and the bonuses. And I'm trying to hold off expanding horizontally until I get these discounts, these price reduction upgrades up a bit more. I'd like to get these to 25 each before we go over to the before we add another 1,000 columns or 1,000 grinders. So we've got some cash. This is where I've been spending it for the most part. Let's do it. Boom, 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 boom. So now those are all upgraded to level 15. And then under bonuses, I've been doing kind of the same thing. Been doing upgrades here, and I started doing the luck ones too. In fact, let's do a luck one. So we got 18 upgrades to crafter productivity. Each upgrade gets us 2.5%. So that's like 45%, I think, bonus. Is that right? 18 times 25 or 2.5. I think that is 36, and half of that, half of 18. Yeah, 45% bonus there. And these things kind of stack. So the miners are giving us extra gems. The loggers are getting us extra sticks. The grinders are getting us extra sticks and gems. And then the crafters are getting us extra wands. So these things all stack up. So we basically, I think, more than doubled the amount of resources on the map just by doing those upgrades. And so I've been throwing money into these and throwing money into these and doing whatever is kind of cheapest between the two. So these are up to 5.6 T for every upgrade. This is 5.8, 5.8, and then I'm counting these two as a single, so I double these up. So this would be a 5.4 to get these both the logger productivity and the miner productivity up. So that'll probably be next. I'll actually do the grinder luck, logger luck, miner luck. Get those all up to level 11. Then I'll do these two, logger productivity, miner productivity, and then I'll come in here and do these price reductions. And again, I want to get this up to 25 over 50 before I expand more to the right. Just so we can take advantage of the discounts before we buy a bunch of stuff. So let's solve this problem here with all this extra wood. And the way I can do that, let's go up to the top here. Boom. And let's add rails. So I'm going to select this whole area. All these rails. Boom. Now that I get them all selected, let's add, I can add 100 probably at least. There's 100. And if I'm looking for low points here in the gems, but it looks pretty level actually. This looks like maybe a low point. Let's add more rails up to that low point. Now we're pretty high. And if I let this sit for a bit, if I let that sit, these logs are all going to get consumed like fairly quick. So we're going to shorten the distance down here for our log miners too, but we'll do that in a minute. Let's go do the other side. These are the newer ones. Let's extend these out. 1,000 grinders for 1,000 columns here. Boom. And I'll probably stick with doing 1,000 at a time. There's 100 more rails. And let's add a bunch more. More. Just looking for low points. I like to kind of keep it in a straight line if I can. Yeah, there we go. So that's probably as far as I want to go with those. Let's take a look and see if these are starting to shrink here. It's not real bad. We've got a couple trains that are kind of blocked because it's just our storage is loaded. And we can upgrade these storages too. I just haven't bothered doing that yet. But yeah, here come the gems. And so if we let this sit for 3 to 5 minutes, I think it'll clear out most of this surplus in logs. Because our log miners have a longer way to go to get the logs, and the gem miners are able to, they don't have to travel at all. They just mine, turn around, and dump off their product. But man, we got a long ways to go. 6,000 gems per stack here. And then where's the next level? 6,000, here it goes, I think. Nope, 6,000. Where's the next level? Get a little closer so I can click these things. Still 6,000. Is this it? I'm colorblind, so it's hard for me to tell, but I know it's like a pink row, right? Where we go up to the next level. Man, we must have just started. These are all still 6,000. Is it? Nope. Huh. Feel like I'm missing something obvious. 6.12. Oh. Yeah, it did go up. Yeah, that's 6.05. And then this is 6.07. So it is going up. But we got a long ways to go. I know the YouTube video compression doesn't do us any favors when I scroll up like that. All right, let's see what's going on. So we don't have any more trains. Well, we got one train still stuck here. These are actively emptying out. These look like they might be stuck too. I guess maybe I'll let this run for a little bit. In terms of our overall stats, while we're waiting for the gems to kind of catch up to the wood, I go over to an open spot and click and then show my information. The deepest mined gem is at 50/50. The deepest cut tree is at 50/77. So since the trees have gone, we've gone further into the trees. I think that's why we've got this surplus of wood here sitting by our crafters. We've got our company values at 138T. And we've got 298 miners and 297 loggers. If we go over here, I should mention. Let's go here all the way to the right and all the way to the top. These new 1000 grinders that I put in, they're sitting in a group. So they're in control group 3. If I click it, you can kind of see that highlighted area. That is all control group 3. And control group 4 is just matches this or mirrors it down here where these logs are. If I click on 4, you can see that. And then all the miners that you see working on these deposits, they are locked in, assigned to these groups. Or assigned to these, what do they call these? Yeah, control groups. So if I look at this picker tool up in the top right, and I say pick from control group 3, I can see I've got 90 moose there. Those are guys doing gems. And if I do control group 4, I can see I've got 90 there. So it's balanced out, 90 and 90. Another thing I'll show you, someone mentioned this in the comments and it's awesome. In settings, is it gameplay? Warning icons. You can turn these warning icons off. If I turn these back on, I'll show you what they are. That is, let's see if they kick on. I don't see them. It's these guys here when they don't have a resource. There they go. All these warning icons saying there's not enough gems, or there's not enough logs, or sticks for wand creation. You can turn those off in the settings. I kind of like them turned off because I don't really need to see that. So I'm going to turn warning icons off. This rail build mode advanced, this is worth being aware of too. In the past, previous playthroughs that I've done kind of off camera, I would try to do like 5 rails and then skip a bunch of space, do 5 more rails going up, skip a bunch of space, do 5 rails. And then if I accidentally clicked on purchase rails and I didn't have something selected, all my gaps would get filled in and it was frustrating. This rail build mode set to advanced, you can see what it says here. Decides how the rail length button works when nothing is selected. So if you think you're upgrading a set of grinders, but you actually don't have any selected, if you leave it at this setting at basic, it'll add rails to the columns that have the shortest rails, including lanes that have no rails built yet. So again, I would try to leave gaps where I didn't have any rails, just trying to save some cash. And I'd accidentally hit the kind of build more rails thinking I had something selected and I didn't. And oh man, for thousands of grinders would all of a sudden get a good bunch of rails built. If you set this to advanced, it says it adds rails to the columns that have the shortest rail, excluding any lanes that have no rails built yet. So that's kind of a handy feature if you're doing a strategy where you're not, filling up each grinder with a bunch of rails. And I may switch to that strategy later on. Right now, I'm just filling up everybody with rails. All right, let's see. How are we doing on the gems? Boy, we still have a surplus of wood here. I'm kind of surprised. It's not horrible. I don't have any... Well, I do have one. I still have... Nope, he's gone. But we got a surplus of wood. Eventually, the gems are going to catch up. It doesn't really matter. And this goes... And I've seen this go back and forth as I play. Well, I'll have... Yeah, see, now we're starting to get some stacks of gems. Gems kind of backing up. Yeah, see, we're getting a ton of gems now. Starting to back up. And then our balanced minecart, this little fella, going back and forth. That guy will try to level things off. But it doesn't really matter, especially if you keep your rails kind of in a straight line like this. Things will eventually kind of balance off. So let's go do the sticks. Get these guys upgraded. I'm going to select all these rails. Actually, let me go here and then to the left, then down. And now I'll select all these guys. Ah, lost my cursor. I can do it from this side too. It's just a little slower. You get them? We got them. All right, let's add rails. And do at least 100 here. Boom. And then I'm just going to add more. If I was really concerned about having excess wood, maybe I would leave it here and let the gems catch up. But I'm not really that worried about it. Boom. So let's bring these guys down. That's pretty good right where it's at. And let's do the same thing for the newer guys. So I'm just going to home, then I'm going all the way to the right, moving over a little bit and going all the way down. Now I can select all these rails. And we can start with 100. I'm just looking for a high point down here. Yeah, it looks like this might be kind of a high point. So we'll add rails to that spot. That's probably good enough. And we got 500G. Let's spend that on some upgrades. Right now I'm working on these little bonuses, bringing these up to 11. So we need 10 more. We can do it. These bonuses, these luck bonuses, basically this is just going to increase our cash. How much cash we generate. It's not going to increase how many resources we mine. It's just going to up level them a little bit. So let's do that. Whereas these productivity ones, they give us extra resources, like extra stuff from the map. Oh, this top row. And then price reductions just give us a little discount on purchasing things. We're obviously going to be purchasing a ton of rails and a ton of grinders. What I want to do, once I'm able to save up enough cash to have these discounts be at 25 over 50, so 25% reduction in the cost of purchasing these things. Once we get to that, I'm going to add 1,000 more grinders off to the right. And if I go all the way to the right, yeah, we'll add 1,000 more grinders, and I'll probably pull some miners from these other areas and then add a bunch of miners too. Let's see what that's going to cost actually. If I wanted 1,000 grinders to the right, looks like it's going to cost 1.5 T. So I just spent all of our cash. But 1.5 T, and then we got to upgrade the grinders, and we got to add our crafters and upgrade the crafters, upgrade the grinder speed. So it ends up costing quite a bit. That's why I'm waiting for these discounts to get a little bit higher before I do that upgrade. But what I want to do once I do that upgrade is, let's go up again. Let's go here. I want to get these 1,000 columns. I want to get these guys to catch up with these guys way up here. So they've got a ways to go to catch up, and I don't even know if they're ever going to catch up right now. So what we'll probably do, I'll add 1,000 more grinders off to the right, and then I'll probably pull some miners off of this to slow these guys down a little bit. That'll give these ones a chance to catch up. Boom. And then I can get rid of these control groups. Then I don't need these miners restricted. They can all just roam free and do their thing. And then we'll set up 2 new control groups kind of off to the right here with 1,000 more columns and get them started. They'll burn through the early levels super fast because these stacks are tiny down here. Yeah. There's only 10 gems in a stack down here. Right now, if we look at the miners, our upgrades up in the stats here, I've been doing upgrades to carrying capacity. So right now they can, each miner can store 2,930 gems or sticks. And I think right now, if we look, it's hard to count because they move so fast. I think these guys are pulling 14 carts behind them. But you can see how fast they fill up. It doesn't take long. The unload time is actually longer than the... Feels like it's longer than the time to mine. Maybe not. It's real close. But eventually what we'll do... Like I said, we're going to end up spreading these guys out maybe a little thinner. But then what we might do is invest in these side saws and get a couple more side saws going. That upgrade is 1 T. T's aren't hard to accumulate where we're at right now. We're doing pretty good, actually, on cash. Cash is coming in pretty nice. Next upgrade is going to be at 560 G. And we'll do logger luck and then miner luck. And again, these just increase the chance to get a higher tier item from mining or from grinding or from crafting. And that just translates into more cash when we go and sell things. So that is where things are at. Let's see. The speed of my miners is at 24.9. I think I have that maxed out right now. Yes, I would need to buy another speed upgrade before I can make these guys go any faster. They're not having to traverse real far from the gems to the rails. Even overnight, you saw it wasn't that big of a gap that they were traversing. So speed maybe not that hugely important right now. And then capacity, I've been throwing a lot of upgrades into capacity. Like I said, they're at 2.93. In fact, we could use some more of that. 2.94, 95, 96, 97, 98. We can get these up to 3,000. I don't have enough cash to do it yet, but we'll get there. Saw speed's at 1.8 or 1,800 RPMs. I think that is maxed out too. Yep. And then saw damage, I've thrown quite a few upgrades on that. We're at 589. 590. Looks like I can't, even though I've got the cash here, 25G, and the upgrade is 22.5G. I have to do an unlock before I can do this upgrade. I can probably do a few more here. So yeah, they'll let me go up to 599, and then I have to go up into Moose and unlock another speed upgrade. It's the saw speed. So I think it's this guy. 700M. So yeah, we could do this if we want. Boom. And now I should be able to increase the saw speed. Where are you? No? Whoop. Oh, thought that would do it. Saw damage 600. Oh yeah, we're good. It was saw damage. That's now at 600. It'd be cool to get the capacity up to 3,000. $299. Looking here at the carrying capacity for our moose. Almost up to 3,000 gems or sticks per load. There we go. So now they can each carry 3,000 gems. But yeah, that's about it. I've been kind of hands off. Like I said, I'm waiting for these price upgrades. So, or these discounts. Once I get this to 25, I'll add 1,000, and then maybe I'll wait till it gets to 40, and then add another 1,000 rows. And then once it gets to 50, if we have the maximum discount on everything we buy, then we're going to change it up and do a bunch of expansion. And maybe just focus exclusively on expanding off to the right here. And adding more and more grinders. because then we'll be buying at the cheapest possible price, buying everything. And yeah, the further you go out, the more all this stuff costs. Yeah, 1,000 more grinders is 1.5 T. If I want 100 more miners, it's not too bad actually. The moose are pretty cheap, but those are low-level moose. So it's for 100 new moose, 764 million. But those are moose that can only carry one nugget, one little gem. You have to do all the other upgrades. Get them from carrying one gem to being able to carry 3,000 each and all the speed and everything else. But that is my strategy. It's been pretty easy to manage now that I've got this stuff level. And like I said, I think I'll do upgrades at 1,000 a time. And I want to try to avoid having a bunch of tiers if I can help it. A bunch of miners working, operating at different levels. I want this to catch up with the guys next door. And then we'll add a new row, a new bunch of columns, and do the same kind of thing. Try to get those guys to catch up. But yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it. And as we get further north, we're getting more bonus. We're making a bunch more money. Bunch of deposits here that are worth 20,000 each. Whole bunch of them. So that's awesome. Oops, let me back out, get rid of the noise. And then these bonuses, all these bonuses are increasing our revenue too. So even though we're not adding a bunch of columns off to the right, at the moment, we're still getting a bunch of extra cash as I invest in these upgrades. But yeah, I think I'll leave it there. That's basically what I'm doing. I haven't put too much money into these other upgrades right now. Everything seems to be going pretty smooth. Like I said, I got a bunch of logs here, but it's not really stopping my miners. And again, it does eventually kind of balance itself out over time. You can see we've got a bunch of gems there, a bunch of gems up here, tons over here. So that will all kind of automatically work itself out. Not too concerned. If we get a bunch of carts like these two hanging out and they can't get back to the miners, they can't unload fully, then I might take a little more action. But for now, it's just smooth sailing. Yeah, I showed you all the stats. Let's look one more time at where we're at. Yeah, 5058 for our deepest spine gem, 5082 for our deepest cut tree. Company values at 139T, miners at 298, loggers 297. I'm having this just this way just for fun. Just because I want it balanced, but I'm testing my OCD by having these off balanced by one. Yeah, that's it for now. This is Glidercat saying thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this series on moose miners. I'll probably come back. Next episode will be when I get this up to 25% discount on everything and we start doing one more big push of expansion. If I get impatient, maybe I'll do it sooner. We'll have an episode before that. But right now, I'm just going to let things ride. I let it run overnight. And yeah, so that's it. I want to thank Glidercat patrons and channel members for their support. And with that, I'll catch y'all in the next episode.